just discovered my husband has another family. My husband and I had a very fast courtship and engagement. We met and married within 11 months and have been married for 4 years in March. My husband has a job that requires him to travel a lot. Without giving too much information, he is a VP of sales for a company that produces something that's in every house and building in America, so he's constantly working and on the road about 50% of the time. I entered our marriage knowing this and have never had an issue. I learned about 7 months after our wedding that he had actually been engaged to someone else, let's call her Amanda, at the time we met. He claimed he was worried about hurting her as they had been together since high school. However, what hurt me the most is that he did not call off their engagement until he proposed to me. We've worked through that issue thanks to therapy, and we continued to still go to therapy. Early last week, I discovered I was pregnant with our third child. He was out of town, so I thought it would be fun to surprise him with the news at his hotel, so I planned on getting a cake with, "You're going to be a dad," again, delivered to his hotel. I called the hotel asking how I could go about this, and was told they didn't have him staying at that hotel. I assumed I had messed up where he was staying, but I know his company would only put him in that hotel group. I have, admittedly, overlooked some red flags, and realized something was going on. I know he's dumb enough to keep all his passwords the same, and I know our passwords for Netflix, etc., and logged into his Facebook and Instagram to snoop. While snooping, I found DMs with Amanda that were flirty, and she had been tagging him in stories. I called him up and asked him if there was anything he wanted to tell me. He said absolutely not, and I said, "Are you sure, because I know you're not staying at X hotel because I was trying to surprise you with something." After now being together, I can pick up on some of his lying tells, and when he tried to tell me he was somewhere else, I called him out on his tell, and he said he would be home that night, and we could talk. I assumed he was coming home to tell me that he and Amanda were seeing each other, but instead, he told me that he had been having an affair with a woman we will call Sarah, and him have 2 kids together. He was with her and has not been going on as many work trips since COVID started. The kicker is, he started seeing Sarah while still engaged to Amanda, and his kids with her are 6 and 1, who will be 4 a week before our 4-year anniversary. He and Sarah both claim that they haven't had sexual relations since their youngest was conceived. He was seeing both Sarah, Amanda, and I at once in the beginning of our relationship. I asked him about his DMs with Amanda, and he said that they had reconnected at his 15-year school reunion, which I did not go to because I had just given birth 2 nights before, last year, and had been hanging out with old high school friends. I am absolutely devastated and confused. I gave birth to our first son January of 2020, our second son June of 2021, and like I said, am currently pregnant with our third. The betrayal goes farther with the fact his mother has been helping him hide this secret from everyone. She has been the best grandmother to my boys and is very active in their life and helps me with cleaning our home and giving me time to do things away from the kids. She knew every time he was going to go see Sarah and their kids and never once told me. I'm coming to the realization that everything in my world revolves around him. I can't even begin to talk to my friends about this because all of my friends are his friends' wives. I feel like I am this big joke to his friends and family, and I'm not sure how to change that. I don't have a job because I quit it to be able to travel with him when we got engaged. I feel like I'm stuck and don't know how to get out. Has anyone left a marriage not knowing where to go or how to survive? Update 1. I officially am a single woman as of today. I took photos of all of the infidelity and lies. One of his friends got me a good divorce lawyer, and my ex knew he was fucked from the start, so it was speedy, and he gave me half of everything, and is paying far more than I expected for child support, and is granting me spousal support for a while. I reached out to a few of the wives when I found things out, and shockingly, his friend group picked me, and not him. That was the most surprising thing out of this. These are friends he's had for 20 plus years. They opened up a lot of his behavior. And a few of the wives, actually, were getting ready to tell me about his flirty encounters with Amanda. But as a mom with 2 kids under 2, they were concerned with my mental health, and were going to tell me at the end of the month at a mom's getaway we were having. I didn't have a job when I left, but one of his friends' wives owns a marketing company, which is what my job was before we got married, and told me when I was ready, she'd have a job ready for me. I started that job back in April and have actually been enjoying it. I am still pregnant. That was a decision I made on my own. I love being a mom and my boys are my whole world. I was going back and forth on it, but I truly love our children. It was not an easy decision to come to, but I'll figure it out one day at a time like I have for the last 6 months. The good thing that came out of this is that it actually had me call my parents. My parents and I have never had the best relationships. I left home at 18 and moved halfway across the country. Where I live now is only a 4-hour drive from my parents, and I've seen them once outside my wedding since I moved here. My mum dropped her whole life when I called her. She doesn't have the healthiest life when she's alone. So about 8 weeks after my Reddit post, I asked if she wanted to move here and help me take care of the kids, under specific circumstances. And she agreed and has been doing so much better, and our relationship is slowly growing to become a healthy, kind one. Thankfully, our kids are young. The boys are 2 and 1, so they'll only really know mom and dad weren't together. He's a wonderful dad. I have tried my hardest to be the bigger person, and have even had Sarah and her kids over, so he can have all his kids together. He's as great as a dad to her kids as he is to mine. I had a few people reach out to me who have half-siblings from affairs, and they gave me great insight. I will do my best to keep my kids around Sarah's kids. I'm still in therapy and do not ever plan on giving that up. To answer the number one question I got, why did I let my husband go to his high school reunion when I had just given birth? Have y'all seen those videos on YouTube of like, the guy who never left his hometown? That is my ex in a nutshell. I would rather him go out for 4 hours to give me alone time with our newborn than hear for about how he missed his high school reunion for what I thought was going to be the rest of my life. Our older son was with grandma that night anyway, so it was just me and the babe. I wasn't going to complain someone wasn't in my way for 4 hours.